Hey y'all, so I'm coming to you today. As I promised, this is going to be one of my first sort of, I guess we can call reveal kind of videos we talked about. So I'll be I'll be sharing my screen. Hopefully I'm using the right cursor on the correct picture so that when I'm doing it, you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so hi, this is Circle Healing Network. Once again, thank you for all who are weighing in and sharing your thoughts and your experiences. It's huge because it's really helping me not only sort of ground myself as to where I feel things are, but it gives me feedback. And also, I feel like it gives me a community where I can also release some of the way I'm thinking about things and get your feedback on it. So this is going to be one of those first videos. So I have the picture here of the Statue of Liberty. I'm gonna let you guys look at this while I open up the show and talk about it a bit. Hopefully I might have a whole bunch of stuff over the screen so you can see it good. Let me make sure I'm presenting to everyone. Okay, so hopefully that's good. Okay, so Statue of Liberty. Now, this is one that I start researching about towards the end of last year. And I started hearing about it around the end of last year, and I agreed with just about everything I was hearing. Yes, I remember being on Ellis Island. Sure, you know, when I was a kid, I went to New York City, I guess around 10 years old. It was a big deal, and I'll tell that story a little later in this broadcast. So I remember taking the Circle Line, you know, getting out. It was like a little museum thing there. They sort of talked about the immigrants coming over, and Lady Liberty was sort of like the first indicator that they were in America, and it was a symbol of freedom and of liberty. And these immigrants who came from all of these war-torn countries, you know, at the turn of the century, it was a sigh of relief. And this was where, and then they had to come through Ellis Island to, you know, kind of get their papers and get clearance and all that kind of stuff. So this was connected. So yes, I remember Ellis Island. Yes, I remember that the Statue of Liberty was a lot closer to, what's the lower point that the Circle Line leaves from? I can't remember the lower tip of Manhattan Island right now. It has a name. It'll come to me. But it left from there and it went across, and it really wasn't that much of a little boat ride. I mean, you know, it was like a ferry. You didn't have to ride that far to get to the Statue of Liberty. Now, in recent years, I've been in New York quite a bit, but I haven't gone to, you know, see the Statue of Liberty especially since this whole thing came up. So I'm relying on my memory from years ago and years and years and years and years of going to New York City, partly for my business. I spent a lot of time in New York. Statue of Liberty is always one of those symbols that, you know, you've arrived, because I would drive up on the East Coast, and you kind of, when you come into New Jersey, you see a Statue of Liberty. You always see the Twin Towers. I mean, it's just etched in my memory, right? So definitely was a lot closer. And but what this video is about, this is new terrain. I'm not going to go over anything that people have already spoken about, except for to confirm that yes, a lot of those things I agreed with. I don't have a tendency to do these sort of Mandela effect videos in which, you know, we're looking at something and talking about residual residue, only because I think so many other people do it very well. And it's no need for us all to do the same thing. I think that when we come onto a team, we're doing the things that we're good at. And I think what you do is you find what your natural inclinations are to, and then that's where you enter the game. That's where you share what you have to share, because we're adding to a conversation, right? At least that's how I look at it. So I thought people had done such great jobs on all of that. So no problem here. I agree, Statue of Liberty wasn't right. And then when you looked into it, the stories about the reason why you couldn't go up into the torch any longer since the turn of the century was because it was bombed. And we all know growing up that that Pearl Harbor was the first time that I learned that, I mean, it was the first attack ever on American soil. That was a big thing. We all as Americans were proud of it, you know, etc. So then how all of a sudden did the Statue of Liberty get bombed by Germany during World War I? And that's why we haven't ever been able to go up into the arm. Like they couldn't even repair the darn thing in all these years. The technology didn't advance enough to repair it so it's stable. I mean, it just is. When I came across that back in January, I thought something ain't right about this. But anyway, I still didn't jump into it at that point because I felt, well, whatever, you know, we all agree something's not right. But as is the case for me, and I would say that from talking to so many of my subscribers, you guys are so emotionally, intellectually, and intuitively aware people just by the comments, the thing you share. We definitely are a like community over here on this channel, because I'm telling you, you guys are just so on top of really what's going on out here. You need to be making your own videos. But so when I share these things with you, I think it's going to hit you like it hit me. And not to mention the fact that part of what I want to share in this video is my awareness, the way I come to stuff. But I'm going to have to do it not so much like a riddle, because I'm not trying to be like that. But what I have learned is when you put things out very directly and very specifically, the residue changes, and not to mention the ability to track it changes. So it's like, I do agree that that this is a hologram. I've always felt that we live in a holographic existence from years ago when I really started getting into quantum theory and what have you. And I do believe that there is some counterintelligence in these I do believe that we're living in a multiverse and that we are moving and jumping through these multiverses. I'm coming more and more to the conclusion, like you guys are, that we are exercising some kind of consciousness muscle, that the reason why we're even in these various realms is to develop that muscle. And we develop it not only through just recognizing, oh yeah, there's been a change, but being able to outfigure and outwit the hologram, right? The consciousness that controls it, if that makes sense. So in order to be able to confirm for yourself that your consciousness is expanding and your awareness is expanding, you know? So I believe that the early symbols of, you know, products and all that, that just kind of got us going. But the realm that we're expanding our consciousness in, and the realm that we're learning about this in, happens to be a realm of opposites. Now, we've talked about that before, and I know others have sort of shared the idea of it, but I want to also show you in this video how that is so true. And in order to navigate yourself in this particular realm and there's multiverses that are connected, you have to apply some of our relation, the idea of opposites. You have to use that ability to navigate. And I know I'm being a little bit unclear and I'm pausing a lot, but trust me, I'm trying to work through getting this video out. And I know that the people who follow me, who get what's going on, are really going to totally get what I'm saying. It may take you looking at the video once or twice. I'm not trying to do that to you, but in order for me to get the point across, I kind of have to talk like this. Not to mention the fact that this is one of the videos I was sharing with you guys. To while I'm showing you this, I want you to get on and start researching what I'm talking about. Start looking for the residue yourself. Think in terms of what I'm saying and see what you can find, because finding it while it's being released is a lot easier than once this is done. And, you know, and it has to do with your consciousness. So it's not, even though when I finish this and upload it, it's done for me, but when you come to it, it's the first time for you. And it's our consciousness that's controlling all of this. And it's our consciousness that we're working as a muscle to expand and be able to control our, you know, the world around us, you know, our greater awareness is all tied into our intellect, our emotional selves, and our intuitive selves. I'm just convinced of that. So Start whatever, and it's got to be an aha, because when I get things, it's like an aha moment. But it's been like that my entire life. When something doesn't hit, when something isn't right, generally what happens to me, I may be presented with a situation. Let's say someone tells me something and they're lying to me at the time they tell me, but I don't know that they're lying. I'm just saying, oh, okay, I'm receiving the information, right? And then at some point, it could be a week later, it could be a day later, it could be a year later. Something will hit me and it'll be like, aha, like an aha moment, like, and it'll all just come crystal clear, like, that person is lying, and this is why they're lying, and this is how they're lying. And then I'll go and look into it, and sure enough, they will have lied. But for me, it comes as like an aha moment. So most of my epiphanies, I guess I should say, hit me like that. And when they hit me as a full-blown idea, exactly how it's happening. So that's how I research the Mandela. When I get a full epiphany, then what I do is I then research it based upon that. And I am certain, you guys, it's happening the same way for you. And it's probably happened like this most of your lives, because I believe that our consciousness are at the place that we're moving to the next level. In order to move to the next level, you have to have had a base level to move to the next level, right? And so a lot of this we've been doing. And just in recent times, you know, recent months, has become this Mandela effect. And it's okay to call it that, just because it gives us a point of reference. But we do understand that this thing is much bigger than that. And it's been going on for way longer than the recognition of calling it the Mandela effect. So I use that term as a point of departure and a point that we can all recognize the conversation that we're in. But yes, I do believe that we've all been doing this. This has been going on for a very long time. We're just increasing in our understanding, and we're increasing in our ability to control it and recognize it. And someone put a name to it. So that's kind of where I am with that. Okay, so you have the Statue of Liberty here you're looking at. So what was my epiphany? Okay, I agree with all of this when it first came out. I guess maybe it was November of last year, when I first came across the whole idea of the Statue of Liberty not being on this, when I came across a video where someone was doing that. I don't remember, but it seems like it was something like that. So I went a couple of months into January. I was moving and doing a lot of stuff in January, so I was a little bit distracted. But somewhere around in February, it just kept on hitting me like something is not right about this Statue of Liberty. Just in my own spirit, I'm like, something, yeah, I agree with all of that, but something ain't right. You know, I just kept on thinking something ain't right. Well, on February 15th, about 2:36 in the morning, and the reason why I know this is because it's on my cell phone when I went and started researching this, and I tried to take a screenshot of this so you could see the date on my cell phone. And maybe when I'm actually doing a live where I'm face on, I'll pull it up on my cell phone so I can show you guys. But that's when I had my epiphany. It was February 15th this year, 2017, at 2:36 in the morning, I started researching it because I realized what the problem was for me with the Statue of Liberty. I agreed with everything else, but that gal just wasn't hitting me right, just wasn't looking right to me. Well, by now you probably have figured it out, and you guys are like totally on it, which is why I've kept this picture up on the screen while I've been talking to you and setting this up. Yeah, this is how I remember the Statue of Liberty. Her left hand is holding the torch. Her right hand holds the book a little lower. That's exactly how I remember the Statue of Liberty. How does the Statue of Liberty look now? And when you go to Google it right now, well, let me show you. Let's find her. Some of my stuff keeps on disappearing when I go to look for things, even now. Sorry about this, guys. Because I have one in here. Well, you can Google it while I'm talking because it's everywhere. Her right hand is up, right? It's her right hand that is up. Let me show you. I actually had a picture of it. I'll put another one up while we're talking. So yeah, in this reality where we are right now, her right hand is up. So here's another close-up. Here's a close-up Sorry if this is a little choppy, but I'm just not used to doing the screen share like this. So right here, let's look at this. Here's another residue. Now, I've had these in my possession now since February 15th. And you can still find some of it, and some of it you cannot. But you can clearly see this is a left hand. Her thumb is wrapping around the torch this way. Clearly a left hand, right? This is not a reverse. This is not like a photo when a photo reverses and like it's in the right hand, but it's reversed. So it looks like in the left hand because we can see the left thumb as you would grip it is around that torch. This is a left arm. This is the left side of her face. This is the right side of her face. So we can see that this is a left-handed torch. Okay. Let's now you see what you see what I'm sharing here. So let me go back and let's find another one. Okay, here we are. This is an artist rendering that was done as a poster. Let me try to get rid of some of these. I had these up so that I can show you. Let me present to you. Okay, here we are, right here. Look at here. So here we have a poster. Wow. We have a poster of, get rid of that, of the let's say a statue. We won't say of liberty because we only see the arm and we only see the flame. It says freedom. Looks like the American flag behind it. So if we looked at this, we would say this was an artist rendering of the Statue of Liberty. That's what we would conclude, right? Now, it can be argued, well, that really wasn't the Statue of Liberty, da-da-da-da-da-da. Sure, I agree with all of that. But certainly, the artist that created this was casting from our memory banks and from our consciousness, our memories about freedom in America with the flag behind it. And so therefore, Lady Liberty was a sign of freedom and liberty in our land. Left hand is my point. Okay. Let's keep on going. I have a few to get through here. Okay. Let's look at, oh, right here. This is pretty good. Look at this right here. Share with you guys. And let me try to get my copy of it up so I can put the cursor on it. Look at this. These are posters. And I want to say, when I show you another one, I want to say this is from stamps that were done. United States stamps. But anyhow, here is, now, this is in a silhouette, yes. But here, let's look at our powers of reasoning. We could say that this is the back. We're looking at the statue from the back. So let's say we're looking at the statue from the back. And this is her right arm up, not her left arm up. Okay, I thought about that as well. But one of the things that I want you to see here is, look at the way the garment is falling. Like if you put your right arm up, or you put your left arm up, I want you to, as we're going through this, I want you to watch how the garments are falling. And I want you to look at the level of the book. So let's say that we're not sure. Is this a left or a right? I think it's the left just by the way the hand is wrapping around and everything. But let's say it's not. Let's just say it's the right. I'm fine with that. I want to show you this. This one. Okay. Here's another one. Now, sorry, I'm getting this together, y'all. Work with me. Okay. This one right here. This is another one. I want to say this was a commemorative stamp for 9/11. Well, these are graphics. You know, I thought I had the stamps in here, but this is just another graphic. There is a stamp. If you look it up, you'll find. So this is, listen to this. Look at this, how this is celebrating 9/11, or memorializing, let's say. I know celebrating is the wrong word, but memorializing 10 years of 9/11. Okay, here again. Here we have this very confusing, is it the right hand or is it the left hand? I've already shown you sufficient residual proof that the left hand does show. We do know there's a left hand because I've shown it to you. The pictures exist. My memory is of a left hand, period, not the right hand. And that was what kept on throwing me off, was when I saw that right hand up, it just seemed like the image just didn't look right in my brain from how I remember the Statue of Liberty. So now we have sort of a confusing image here. But to me, it looks like her body is facing us and her body is open to us because of the way these spikes on her crown, or whatever you call this sort of illuminated crown thing is. Because when you see her from the back, the crown is always pointing like down. So these spikes are going down, like, you know, they're going down. But these are going up, just the way it looks when we see her. Let's see if I can find it. When we see her standing to the, when we see her standing with the arm up to the left, these are like, and they're near the head. Now, the right arm, they would certainly be near the head, but generally when you see it from the back, they're pointing down. So I want you guys to look for this as well. So I say this is a representation of it in the left hand, quite frankly. But let me show you this. Is this up? Let's get the screen share up again. Okay, hold up. Okay, so let me show you this. I want to show you this real quick. This right here is another just residual of a painting of an artist. Look at this. It really looks like that left arm is up to me. Looks like Lady Liberty. There's stuff going on here, but it looks like that arm, that left arm could be up. But this is subjective. This is just a painting. It's artwork. I just want to throw it out there to you. This is one of those little clues that I use to try to find things. I want you guys to figure out exactly what that is, because you will. Did I present it to you? I'm sorry. Here's the artist's work here. These are some of the ways I look for things. So I know you guys can figure that one out, because it's how I try to find things that support one another. Okay, so let me show you this. Down here, this is what I want to show you, the 9/11 thing. So look at this. Present to everybody. Okay, look at this. Okay, growing up in other lies. This is a blog, a film or something here. What I think is interesting is look at the Statue of Liberty with the two arms, like the World Trade Centers, right? And the arm, like this whole idea of sort of the arm being there and the head missing and the head being, I mean, it's like really funny. But what hit me was, wow, look at the two arms up. Like, yeah, is it the right or is it the left? You know, will the real Lady Liberty stand up? I mean, really, look at this. I mean, the two arms, it's just like 9/11, right? And then down here, look where it says blow up. Almost like the idea of blowing it up. It's a little creepy, but, and I even like the fact that Sherlock Holmes is in here as well. Like, this whole thing is a mystery. You got to figure it out. The life aquatic, you know, I'm talking about how I think this water and this whole plasma thing has so much to do to it. Look at the Titanic, the iceberg. It's more underneath than what's at the top. I mean, this whole thing right here just blew my mind. I'm like, wow. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is kind of what I feel is going on. So that's another little kind of breadcrumb I want to drop there. But I want to show you guys this as well. Looky here on the same line of the two towers, and you know, and the Statue of Liberty and all of that good stuff. What you look here. Let me see if I can find. I'm sorry, I have so much open on my screen because I feel like I'm not sure of what to make sure I have all this available when I need it, when I'm talking to you guys. So I'm presenting this to you so you can take a look at it while I try to find the one that I'm supposed to put my cursor on. Here it is. Okay, look at this. We got Miss Lady Liberty with the left torch up. That's how I remember it, just like this. I remember her having this really bold stand, like the torch is just going out in front of her. Naturally, the book would fall. The book wouldn't be as high. Like if you got the torch up, the book, your right arm would fall a little bit, and that left shoulder is thrusted forward. Like, yeah, we're about freedom and liberty. This is how I remember her looking, like almost in motion, not like this real straight up and down static one we got now, but this is what I remember, this kind of attitude there. Well, here, you see here, we can see the left hand wrapped around. But this is what we have now with the right arm up. This is what we have now, the right arm up, the book in the left hand, but look at the Twin Towers behind it. Ain't that something? So what do you think the likelihood of us having two, like on this site, Statue of Liberty, 2 posters combo? Like, what's the likelihood of us having somebody deciding, okay, yeah, here's a picture of the Statue of Liberty with the left arm up, but now here's a superimposed one of the right arm up with the Twin Towers behind it. Yeah, I mean, that really blew my mind too. I thought, I definitely remember this girl right here. That's how I remember her. I'm just curious, is this at all like, are you guys at all saying, damn, yeah, or what? Are you saying, no, I don't remember that? Which, you know, we know that can happen. It's not a problem. But because I definitely remember her like that, I am sure of this fact that where I got my first memories of the Statue of Liberty, the left arm was up. Now here's a picture of the right arm. I just put this up here because this is an old from a newspaper magazine section, working on the Statue of Liberty Saturday Evening Post cover from July 6, 1946. Okay, working on the Statue of Liberty. So they got all these people up around the torch and everything. I just laughed because I just thought this was kind of like so comical, like this picture of working on her and all of this. Well, like, I'm way younger than 1946, and I remember the left hand up, not the right hand. And here, look at, see, this is what I was saying. When you see her from the behind, like when we were talking about, like if that's, remember I was saying the one that looked like, where it's the one that looks like a silhouette, and you know, you could argue if it's the right hand up and we're just seeing it from the back, or if it's the left hand up and we're seeing it from the front. Well, generally when you see the Statue of Liberty from the back, that's how these illuminating crown, these spikes that come off of her crown, they normally point down like this. They don't point up like that one was doing. It looks more like that when you see her from the front. Like how when you see her from the front here, it's a little picture, I know, but see how those are going up? Her right arm is up and they're going up. When you see her from the back, they're going down. So if that silhouette was showing us a Statue of Liberty, let me see if I can see it. If we were looking at, did I present this to you guys? Oh my goodness. I hope you could see it, even though I'm screen sharing and this is present to everyone. So hopefully you all saw what I was talking about here with the right arm, but her crown is pointing down versus when you look at her from the front, like in this picture here, they point up. So no matter if it's the right arm up or the left arm up, you can tell it's the front because these are pointing up. When it's the back, they're pointing down. So even if we want to say that that image, let's see if I can go back and find it, it was just superimposed, and in fact, I put it back down here. In fact, it really wasn't, This one. Yeah. Let me put this one back up. If it really wasn't, if it was just like a silhouette that was showing here, if it was a silhouette that was just showing her from the back, you see what I mean? Here, you see what I'm saying? Like the left arm is up and the spikes on her crown, or the illuminating light coming from her crown, I guess is what it's supposed to be. See how they're going up? So this is why I say this is the left arm that is up, because these things are going up like that, versus the one I just showed you when you see her from the back and you see that whichever arm reality you're in is up, those spikes or those crown points are normally still going down. Okay, so let me show you, move along so we're not on this all day. Okay, so now let's look at a few symbol things, because this is how my mind was thinking about it. Oh, I wanted to, so I said, you know, well, like typically, because I remember France had a Lady Liberty, and, you know, this idea of women representing liberty and freedom is not really new in terms of icon, you know, sort of icons. So here we have, so I just put in vintage, I just put in Lady Liberty. What's, you know, look, so here the flag is in the right, is in the left hand, and she's holding a sword, you know, in the left, in the right hand, I'm sorry. And so this was kind of like symbol of liberty moving into, I want to show you that image because I want to read something to you. Let me read this to you. Okay, so then I said, alrighty, what's the symbolism? Because we know, let's go back to like where the reality we came from had symbolisms that meant stuff. It wasn't just airy fairy. You just didn't, okay, today I'm gonna do this. Okay, tomorrow I'm gonna spell fruit F-U-R-I-T today, and then tomorrow I'm gonna spell it F-R-O-O-T, and you know, the public that I'm selling to, they'll know the difference. Oh, no problem. We'll just misspell stuff and people will still get it. Or no, it didn't work like that. There were standards and norms that governed that reality that helped us navigate the reality because we just agreed on certain things, right? Okay. So I remember in when I studied cultures, anthropology, and I had a minor in art history. You know, symbols were everything, because when you painted something or had statues, or they would have a lot of the symbols in them that people understood, so that when they saw the painting or they saw the statue or something, they had a general idea of what was being said to them through symbols. So I went into just sort of Google, you know, right hand and left hand symbolisms, and you guys can do that while we're talking now if you'd like. So when you look it up, it says the left hand. Okay, let's do the right hand first, since that's what we're saying. The right, that, you know, this current liberty has a right hand. So it's assertive, mercy, solar, logic, giving, conscious, which is the right hand, which is a lot of left brain, left hemisphere sort of things. The left hand that I remember liberty being on is passive, justice, lunar, emotional, receiving, and unconscious, which are female attributes, which is why we have the Lady Liberty. You know, the female values of the society, which were more lauded and more cherished in older societies than in these current ones, and certainly in these current realities. You know, lunar is the moon, that's feminine. Solar is the sun, that's masculine. Justice, you know, Lady Liberty was about freedom and justice. Liberty, that's all those type of things. It's passive. I mean, she was standing there with a book and a torch, not a gun, not something that was going to be more aggressive. It was a passive, not assertive way of saying we stand for liberty on the shores of America, and you're welcome. Receiving. We welcome immigrants. We welcome other people from other countries. Come here and be a part of our freedom and liberty. So we were a receiving kind of people. So to me, the left hand, holding the torch in the left hand, is more in line with the statue and what the statue meant than it being in the left hand. So when I researched that, I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It seems like that makes more sense to me. Okay, just got a few more pictures, almost done, guys. Okay, takes a while for my little thing to pop up. So to that point, I wanted to show another picture. This is an older, I forget exactly where this, not a very good picture, where this, I got this one from. But if you just search women statues, and you fill in the blanks. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. Do it several different ways because it will change. Here again, that's why I'm not saying everything. But if you just kind of like, I'm giving you the basis of it. Here's another, you know, statue. Look, you know, the woman is, everybody, sorry. Where is that one? Right here. Yeah, you see, looks like liberty to me. Yeah, you know, left hand up. Flame even looks pretty much the same. And here's that little bird on her head that I was showing you on that one. It was a painting, so like had a bird. And I sort of remember seeing this sort of adaptation of her, although I'm not saying that Our Lady Liberty had a bird on the head. No, it was definitely a crown. But you can see this left hand business there. Yes. Okay. And then let's look at this one. So what I want to show you is a couple more real quick. Before I show you the last one, I think this is interesting. I came across this one, and here we have, check this one out. We have the statue of Jesus that's down in, you know, Rio de Janeiro. That used to be the capital. I mean, used to be, yeah, the capital of what Brazil when I was, from my reality, but I claim it's not now, something called Brasilia or something. I never heard of that. But anyway, not to get off on that tangent, but this was one of the pictures that came from the Olympics, 2016 Olympics. Okay, but look how interesting it is. You got this guy with the torch in his left hand, athlete, obviously, you know, like the opening ceremonies of the Olympics, this whole torch thing, with this statue that clearly has changed. And it's so funny because I'm so glad that people start doing the video on that, because I remember looking at that, you know, and I was thinking in my mind when I would see the pictures of it, gosh, he looks so much bigger than when I remember looking before. But I mean, it's just one of those random thoughts. I do not take credit at all for having discovered it or anything like that. All hats off to people who came up with that. But I have to say, as soon as they said something, I was like, I knew it. It just looked so much bigger. So now this statue has definitely changed for a lot of people. You know, the statue of the Savior of Jesus has changed for a lot of people. And I think it's interesting that in this photo is the left hand symbolic of liberty and all that good stuff, but showing the left hand, not the right hand. And of course, I remember the left hand. So it's like a lot of this stuff, in a way, it seems like it almost mocks. It's like makes a mockery of our memories. You know what I'm saying? It's really strange in how that seems to be working. Even like the Statue of Liberty with the two towers. I think that person wasn't so much making a mockery; they were making a point. But then to have those two posters there that had the Statue of Liberty with the left and the right hand up. I mean, stuff like that. I mean, I think that's just bizarre. At least just how I look at it, it just seems bizarre. So then, because I was down that road of the opposites, you know, like the male energy, the female energy, the opposites, the fact that we all agree that this place just seems like it's not like the land of milk and honey, like I used to like to say, and it's not, you know, it just seems wicked and just more wicked. Let's put it like that. I pulled up, you know, this, you know, Satan statue, you know, this, what is it? Bass. I always say that word wrong. Sorry about that. But looky here, wouldn't you know, they didn't get it wrong for this statue. He didn't switch. You know, his right arm is up for the for solar. You know, you got so much of the same similar, these spiky crown things, you know, and this whole thing. I mean, really. So it just reminded me of how we're now just dealing with, did I present that to you guys? How we're just dealing with these whole opposites and the polarization, but it's opposites in terms of how we know things. I'm gonna put this back up so you guys can look at it. I just think this is a neat one. We don't want to look at this dude. So I'm gonna tell you a quick story and then I'm gonna end the video with regards to my memory of the Statue of Liberty. Okay, so I got this up because that's the one I want us to look at. Okay, so I think that's just like that one. So anyway, okay, left hand up. One of the things that I remember as a little girl, okay, so I was around 10 years old when the first time I went to New York. This is the first time I went to New York, because back in those days, you know, you had all the sitcoms on. It's like everything was in New York, you know. I Love Lucy lived in New York. The Odd Couple, you know, That Girl, you know, everybody was in New York or Chicago. There was a few, you know, but we used to look at all those old sitcoms and stuff like that. And everybody, so I remember just, oh, I want to go to New York. I want to go to New York. Oh, that's just like the fashion and all the shopping and everything, New York. So my aunt decided to take me and my cousin to New York because we had some family up there. So I was around 10 years old. And so we said, okay, in the summer when school is out, we're going to go to New York. And I was so excited about this. I planned. I had my little clothes together. I had mom take me shopping and get me, you know, like back in those days, we didn't go shopping on those shopping sprees. You know, your parents planned for stuff. So because we knew a few months going into the summer that we would, you know, every few paydays, mom would take me and get me a little outfit or something like that. And I was just stockpiling. I wouldn't wear them. I was putting them to the side because I was going to be that girl in New York. So this is why this sticks into my mind, because I absorbed every aspect of this trip because it was my first time going. So we go to New York, do all the trip, you know, traditional stuff. We go up into the Empire State Building. We're shopping. We're doing all the fun stuff, including taking the Circle Line ferry over to, as my memory recalls, Ellis Island. It wasn't something called Liberty Island. It was Ellis Island. So let's just say they changed the name of the island, same daggone island. Although I did do research on it, and it is not the same island. Liberty Island and Ellis Island are definitely two different islands. But anyway, not going to go down that road either, just the story. So we went over to Ellis Island. I remember seeing the Statue of Liberty. I still remember the sensation of being in the water and the mist, you know, from the boat and the wind blowing and coming up on the Statue of Liberty and being in awe and just seeing her like, oh, I'm really seeing the Statue of Liberty. I'm really, And we get off the boat and we take a tour and they take you all around. They tell you all about it and how she was built and how many nails she got in her and all this stuff. Rivets, I guess it really would be, but anyway. So you get all this history, all that stuff I don't remember, but you know, I remember that whole process. Then we go inside and you go up inside of the Statue of Liberty. It was like an elevator that took you up into her crown, which was an observation deck. So many of us got in at a time. You went up and I remember standing there looking out of the windows, just amazed. And inside, it is like an armature of some sort, you know, it's just like you're inside of a hollow metal sculpture. Now, I do remember there were some stairs. It seemed like there was like an open network of stairs, like metal stairs to my left. Because I could still hear people walking up them, like their shoes clanking on these metal stairs, going up into the arm, which you're not supposed to be able to go up into. Claim the arm hasn't been open since it got bombed in early 1911 or 1914 or something. I don't remember the date. When I looked it up, that's what they're saying. So yeah, I clearly, even right now, I can clearly on this left-hand side have the sensation of people going up in that arm. Now, we didn't go up into that arm because my aunt was already a little like, you know, she was already a little like overprotective and making sure that, you know, we were safe and all that kind of stuff, her daughter. And then with me, and she knew it wouldn't fly over well, coming, bringing me back to my mom. And like, I got a broken arm or something like that. Because my mother was really protective of us. So my aunt knew that. So she was like, no, we're not going up them steps because it's like an open network. And if any of you have kind of gone up in the Eiffel Tower, and you could walk up those stairs, remember they were like open. You could see straight down to the bottom. Almost feel like if you slip, you know, that would be the end of you. I mean, there were like netting and there's some like fencing and stuff, but still it was like really open. That's how these stairs work. And so her argument was that we're up far enough. We can see what we need to see. We know it's there. We're not going to go up them little narrow steps and hurt ourselves. So we're going to keep our behinds right down here. So that's why we didn't go up. But I remember other people were going up in there. Now, this is my memory. I get it. And you're taking me on my word for it. But I promise you, it was that detailed. Like, I remember it. So that's why even when it hit me that it was the left arm, it also hit me, yeah. And I'd harken back to being inside of the statue and thinking, yeah, because the people were going up on the left side. So anyway, I'll end it here, but I wanted to share that and put that out there. Now, the significance of me sharing this is not just to say, okay, it was the left arm or the right arm, because not that so much, but to underscore a few points that we've been making. The first point, we feel like we're living in, this is an opposite realm and reality, that the rules of language, the rules of writing, the rules of vocabulary use, the rules of the moon. I mean, everything that had a system and rules to them, like, it seemed like it's all different. It's all like almost the opposite of what it used to be. So it's like we're definitely in a realm of duality that is really expressing itself in like really extreme differences, the same way like a pendulum. Like if the pendulum, like I feel like we're almost as far left as we can go, or let's say as far right as we can go on the pendulum in this duality as we were far left in the opposite in the realm that a lot of us remember. So I definitely feel we're at extreme dualities right now. So I wanted to point this out because to me, this Statue of Liberty really underscores the idea, the sense that I have of being at an extreme polarized, an extreme duality, you know, from right to left. So that's what I wanted to point this out as concrete evidence of that sort of realm that we're dealing with. And also the idea of the flow of consciousness, because it's like, I'm sure that people who will come across this video, who did earlier videos on the Statue of Liberty, when they see this video, they're going to say, yeah, that left hand was up. But it seems like it's a hive mind. I've been calling this more recently now, HIVE mind. It seems like as soon as your mind or your memory opens up to something, it's like a hive intelligence or a hive mind dives in, and it knows it can't take back from you the memory that you have about something, but it inserts the hive mind memory, and then it's a wrap. So you can hold on to the piece of it that you do remember, but a lot of the other details will escape you. And I know that's happened to me. Like, it'll just escape you. Like, you just go with, yeah, I guess that's how it was. Because even just like recently, I was looking at a video that Life Matrix did yesterday, and he did it on Jimi Hendrix, and he did a live stream on Jimi Hendrix, and he says he remembers Jimmy, Jimmy. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, yeah, I remember Jimmy, but I'm a Jimi Hendrix lover. And so I have like old t-shirts, supposed to be old poster t-shirts and stuff like that with the Jimi on it. And I just agreed with the hive mind that it's Jimi. But I'm like, But I remember JIMI for a long time too, like for years, JIMI. But when he presented it and he started showing like a lot of magazine, like articles, newspaper articles, where it's spelled JIMMY, I'm like, that is so true. I remember now thinking back on it. So I did a little research and I actually sent it to him, and he said that he got back to me, said he may do another video. If he does, he'll throw it up and, do a shout out to me, which, yay or nay. I mean, I think it's a respectful thing to do, but just in deference to all of us in the community, but not like it's a necessary thing to do. But anyhow, immediately using this system that I use to find this stuff, and if you guys sort of study how I've presented this stuff, the way I've presented, I've kind of shown you the methodology that I use to find and uncover stuff that if you just go at it straight, the hive mind will dive in and it'll just like stuff will just disappear, or you won't find what you're looking for. So within like 5 minutes of me researching, I found old signatures of Jimi Hendrix where he signed his name. And I found an old contract where in the entire contract, it was Jimi Hendrix will perform and do music, concerts and stuff for our company. Jimi Hendrix will blah, blah, blah. Jimi Hendrix will blah, blah. Every line started with Jimi Hendrix, JIMMY. Then he signs it, Jimi Hendrix. This is a contract, and this was in I think the contract was 1965. And when did he die? Like in 69, was it? That he passed? Something like that. So whatever it was like a few years. I mean, he was already Jimi Hendrix. Or did he die in 72? Anyway, you know. Anyway, he was already doing his thing. So it wasn't like he came up with this cutesy name like JIMI because now I'm this rock star, I'm the baddest, guitarist in the world type of dude, and I'm going to have a cool name, JIMI. This was 64, 65. Remember the rules of language? We didn't do all those really, and people had nicknames, but the nicknames would stay the same. Jimmy was a nickname because his name was James. So Jimmy was the nickname for James, and it was spelled JIMMY. So we did have nicknames, and even the nicknames followed, like a pattern. So it was James. If you had Jim, then Jim was Jim or Jimmy. Jim was, a nickname for James. Normally older men would then become Jim, but when you were a little boy, it'd be Jimmy, or whatever. A lot of guys kept Jimmy or whatever. So to my point, in this period of time, I found it. So I sent it over to him, and he was like, yeah, this is solid evidence the dude was Jimi Hendrix. But I've used the same method. So definitely start thinking in terms of opposites. I can say that. And think in terms of the hive mind and how that's working in this holographic sort of paradigm. And that we are here as conscious beings, expanding our consciousness like a muscle to be able to, I think, we're shattering this dimensional stuff in this hologram anyway. So some of what we're doing is about that. And that, what was the other points I want to make sure I got across here? That, so we kind of have to go at this thing a little differently. Then, once you kind of have this aha moment, you realize that you kind of have to go after this stuff a little differently. Okay. So anyway, I hope this makes sense. I'm sure you guys are going to ask me a lot of questions, and I love that. And I'm sure that you'll bring up things that I'm thinking about or have thought about, but I forget to say when I'm doing these videos because they're sort of spontaneous for me. I don't have a lot of notes. I wrote every thought down that I had. So I really welcome you doing that. Trust me, because it does help me remember things that I may have thought of. And if I didn't think of it, I'm really happy to say, hey, I didn't think of it. Thanks for shouting that out, because that's really good. And there's a couple of people that have been following me you got to read the comments, because there's some really good comments coming out. I'm trying to get onto my phone real quick to see if I can, because I really believe in giving credit where credit is due. But let's say, I'm sorry, because I don't remember you guys' names. It's like, okay, so I have some really, like Lucy, you just came across with some really awesome sharing. That was like really huge for me. Thank you. And also, where are you? You had some really deep stuff you shared with me. Come on, I gotta find you. Sorry about this. I'm making this so much longer. I'm not trying to. Is it Narwa? Narwa, deep, loving that. I mean, I'm right on it with that. Cataluna, thank you so much for your comments. Powerful stuff. It's a number of you in there that are, I'm not getting you all. I realize that, but definitely read the comment section. I think, it's a lot of really powerful information and evidence being shared. And I know I'm really, growing and expanding in my own awareness from your sharings, and it's helping me put meat to the things that I've been knowing and seeing and experiencing for a while. So thank you guys. I'm going to sign off now because otherwise, this gets too long, and I have a couple more of these that I want to do. So peace out. Light and love and light from Circle Healing Network. Thanks again for being a part of this community. And I really do mean that, I really do feel we're a community here as we're moving through this. And I do believe that we're in the process of finding one another for the purposes of these discoveries we're making. And I really appreciate it. Okay. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.